So now I've finished coloring my face in. I did some blending in the hair and the face so you could see me use the smudge tool. I also just dropped flat colors in for some parts of the eyes and the lips. So I wanted to give you a back and forth of easy and a little bit more advanced. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a background. So look, I got an empty layer here that I'm going to use. I'm on my line tool. I'm going to select my background. This is super simple for me because I've enclosed all of my shapes here. So again, if you want to make it simple, enclose your shapes, or else it's going to like choose a bunch of areas you don't want to color in. But again, you can always do the paint in and erase method as well. So I am going to go to this layer back here, and I'm just going to drop in a simple gradation here. Remember, you can adjust your gradation by clicking into one of these tools and, you know, changing your color around to something like that. I can also do something, let's deselect here. So I really like just a gradation in the background. That's really nice. If you have some other ideas, that's also an option. So I'm going to create a new layer here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to enter a texture into my shirt. So I'm just going to go back to my line layer and select all the shirt areas. Now that those layers are selected, I'm going to come over by the shirt. I'm going to start out by just doing a gradation here, and I'm just going to make it black, gray, and the last one I'm going to do as like a white. So that's how you can kind of make it look like it's going back into space if you'd like. This is how you change like the direction of your values. But what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to find a print online. So let's say I want to find a little cheetah print. So first you want to make sure there's no marks on your picture like this one. I'm going to go and choose a very basic, let's see, looks like that first one. Well, this one's actually like furry. Let's see how this one looks. Let's do this. Okay, so I'm just going to save this, add this to my photos. Now that I've got it still selected, I'm going to click here on the plus, and I'm going to enter this fabric in here. And what you can also do is this little distort button lets you kind of move it a little bit to distort it. I'm just trying to keep it at least in those shapes there. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this layer and do some blending with it. So all of these options, what they do is they bring the layers beneath on top. So because I have that gradation going on, I can kind of mess around and see which one works the best for my print. So far I like screen. Overlay looks pretty great. Ooh, color looks nice too. I think I'm gonna stick with color. Okay, so now that I've got that overlay, what I'm going to do is merge this layer with my underneath layer. Now I'm just going to get rid of where it aligns. So I got my line layer selected, and I'm just going to select all the areas that I don't want to have this print, which is my face, my hair, and my background. I'm going to take my big eraser and make it all go away. Oh, I forgot to select it out of my lips. It's okay, I'll show you how to go back in there. I'm going to deselect everything. I'm going to go back to my lines to select, and I'm going to select my lips, and select this piece of hair that's here, come back to my colors, and erase. If you don't have perfect clean layers, you're just going to go in, and obviously that stuff happens. Some sections can't be perfectly closed, so what you would do is just go ahead and, you know, paint in where you want things and erase where you don't want them. This is just going to be a little bit more time consuming, so I like to show you guys some tricks that I've learned from going back into Autodesk Sketchbook to make it easier. I do it using those selection tools. I also wanted to show you how to add a image to your page if you don't want to use the selection tool method. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go onto an image search. I'm going to save like a paint splatter. I'm going to do that in the background instead this time. So again, making sure that there are no copyright images on top of my picture. Something like this has like the cameras on top, but this one's nice. It doesn't have any of that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to save it, add it to my photos. Now I'm coming back to my image. I'm going to just click the little mountain and import the photo and make it about the size that I want it. So let's say I want it to kind of go back here, and I want these paint splatters to just show up. You know what? I kind of want them to come from behind me. Let's do that. Now right now there's this white background that's happening. I'm going to get rid of that. I'm going to show you how to do that. So what I've done is I'm taking the background gradation and I have it underneath my paint splatter. And what I'm going to start to do is I'm going to take my paint splatter and I'm going to mess with the blending modes and see which one looks the coolest. So a lot of times, like, what will happen is these blending modes will get rid of the white behind an image. So something like multiply or linear burn is going to do that. So I'm going to click with multiply. So then the easy method without having to do any selections would be to come in here and just erase where you don't want that pattern to affect it. This is also an option if you really don't want to mess with selection tools or it's not making sense to you. You can also do this and add those textures to your background. You just have to make sure that you come back in and do all of this erasing. But if you don't mind doing that, then this will work just fine for you. And you don't even have to mess with any selection tools in order to add this background. So I'm going to keep going through and finishing that up.